Williams may have missed out on super sub Nick de Vries, but Jost Capito has just confirmed that Logan Sargeant will be replacing Nicholas Latifi in that second seat alongside Alex Albon in 2023. Unfortunately for the American, there's a little bit of a catch. Logan Sargeant has been part of the Williams junior driver setup since October 2021, although his replacement of Nicholas Latifi in the Williams during Friday practice at Austin was the first time that we've seen him in a Formula 1 session. In doing so, he became the first American driver to run in a Formula 1 session since 2015. And considering he was in a Williams car that hasn't really shown much pace over the season so far, he did really well. At least he didn't crash it, like some of the more experienced drivers out there. Following his debut session, Capito announced that the 21-year-old will step up to a full-time seat with Williams next season if he gets enough Formula 1 super license points, saying we feel he's ready to race under the condition that he has enough super license points after Abu Dhabi. He will be our second driver next year. And just a quick interjection, I love how Williams announced their news by just jumping in on other people's stuff. They confirmed Alex Albon during the whole Oscar Piastri saga, whilst that was happening throughout the summer break and everybody was waiting for any kind of Formula 1 news to come out. And now Jost, in an interview with Horner and Brown, who fired shots at each other recently after Zach's letter to the FIA about how teams who have broken the cost cap should be treated, and Jost just tries to steal the show by dropping this Logan's breaking news in the middle of the press conference. I absolutely love to see it. But back to Sargeant and the second half of Capito's statement, under the condition that he has enough super license points after Abu Dhabi. And this is still an if for the American youngster, because we know that the FIA will not budge when it comes to super license points. Sorry, Colton. Still too soon? Sargeant has 30 super license points of the required 40 at this time, but only a driver's highest 3 results in the past 4 seasons count towards their super license. When the points for 2022 are applied, the 3 super license points that Sargeant picked up in 2018 will no longer be valid. So he virtually has 27 points plus whatever he gets from this season's Formula 2 campaign. Currently third in the 2022 Formula 2 standings behind Theo Pourchaire and champion Felipe Drugovich, Sargeant needs to finish 5th in the standings to absolutely guarantee himself a spot in Formula 1 next season, as finishing 5th in Formula 2 awards 20 super license points, which is well more than the 13 that he needs. But considering Sargeant is only on 135 points, coming 3rd or even 5th isn't guaranteed. Formula 2 awards points for the sprint race and for the feature race. In any given Formula 2 race weekend, there are a maximum of 39 points available. 2 for pole position, 10 for winning the sprint race, 25 for winning the feature race, and 1 point for the driver who puts in the fastest lap during the Grand Prix. By that math, there are 13 drivers that have a shot of finishing in the top 6. Bearing in mind that Drugovich has already locked up the championship and Theo Pourchaire is a comfortable 2nd place, that leaves 9 drivers in the fight for 3rd and 2 more in the battle for 6th. Obviously, realistically, a driver picking up 39 points is very unlikely, but there are still about 5 drivers who have a realistic shot at beating Sargeant to 3rd place. Doohan, Daruvula, and Fittipaldi are all the closest, being just 9 points behind Logan Sargeant, which could drop him all the way down to 6th if all 3 of those drivers pounce at the opportunity to overtake the American. Now, Sargeant could get away with finishing 6th in the standings and still make it into Formula 1, provided that he finishes the season without picking up any penalty points. Sargeant is currently the only full-time Formula 2 driver this season to not score any penalty points, and if he keeps that up for one more round, he'll secure himself an extra 2 points for his super license tally. So finishing 6th in the standings would get him 10 super license points, the added 2 for a clean season, and he picked up an additional super license point for his outing in COTA, meaning that he already has 2 different ways of gaining the 13 points needed in order to acquire the 40 super license points to take him into that full-time spot on the Formula 1 grid. But Williams aren't stopping there. Just in case he does finish 6th and picks up a penalty point in the last race of the season in Abu Dhabi, Williams are also running Sargeant for free practices in Mexico and Abu Dhabi to get him an additional 2 super license points that way. Although he could end up not even finishing 6th with how tight the Formula 2 standings are this year, but considering how good he has been this season, if Logan Sargeant isn't in Formula 1 next season, something would have to go very, very wrong for him in Abu Dhabi. Not like anything has gone wrong for Logan before in the last race of the season. Oh yeah, apart from that time that he looked set to win the Formula 3 championship ahead of Piastri and Pourchaire, only to be shunted off the track in the opening lap. Let's just hope that history doesn't repeat itself in the final race of the season. Instead of a Formula 3 title on the line, there's a Formula 1 seat available for him. Personally, I'm really looking forward to see what Sargeant can do in that Williams seat. Considering where the team has been in 2022, there wouldn't be too much pressure on him to deliver anything incredible, but we've seen from Russell that a few years at Williams without any pressure can be a great place to learn how Formula 1 works, and if you can show those flashes of brilliance, then you can slowly move your way up the grid. Maybe Sargeant moves to Mercedes to replace Lewis Hamilton. Unlikely, but you never know. Or he could just not get the super license points required and then suddenly Williams are back on the driver market all over again. Let me know if you're excited to see Logan Sargeant in Formula 1 next season in the comments down below. Whilst you're down there, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you next time.